WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM. Get WHOW programming live or on demand right there on your desktop, tablet, iPhone, or smartphone when you want it 24 hours a day. Just go to DeWittDailyNews.com. If you want to listen to live WHOW programming, just click the Listen Live icon. And if you want to hear one of your favorite WHOW programs when you want to, just click on the Audio on Demand icon. WHOW programming is there when you want it. Just another service from the big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW.
News time 9 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. The Warner Hospital Foundation has some changes at its leadership level. CEO of Warner Hospital, Paul Skowron, indicates the hospital foundation is now being led by Christy Hobby. Dr. Hobby leads the foundation after Kurt Homan stepped down to take on the full-time leadership position of the DeWitt County Development Council. Homan was splitting his time between the DCDC and the foundation before being hired full-time by the DCDC.
Yes, Kurt did such a good job helping the foundation with so many fundraisers over the last few years, but now he needs to focus entirely on the Economic Development Council because there's so much going on over there. And so as a result, we have a new chairman of the Warner Hospital Foundation, and that is Christy Hobby, the dentist in town, and she's really doing a great job. But we have been struggling with, do we need to replace Kurt as an executive director? Mm-hmm. To be honest, we have been running on his coattails and using all his cheat sheets on how to prepare for things like our next golf outing and our next bingo event. And so far we've been able to organize things and just call Kurt and say, you know, we're missing something here. How do we do this? And he's always there to help.
The foundation remains actively engaged in supporting the hospital. Skowron points to several equipment upgrades in recent years. The foundation was instrumental in helping purchase.
Boy, you know, go all the way back to the 3D mammography unit that was installed because of the hospital foundation. Back when Dixie Walden was running the foundation, she was actually one of the founders of the foundation back in '98. There was the 3D mammography, and then totally re-outfitted the physical therapy a couple of years ago. Emergency room chairs, modernizing those for emergency transport for patients. So you can go department by department. Cardiac therapy. The hospital foundation has contributed in all these areas.
Skowron also reminds the Hospital Foundation offers several scholarship opportunities to local high school students.
4 or 5 scholarships awarded to the students, high school students of the area that have professed an interest in healthcare in the future. Yeah. There's some of them that went to medical school, and we've interviewed them. They found other opportunities, but local opportunities, and we stay in touch with them. So we always hope someday they're going to come back to us.
Skowron is thankful to Homan for all he did for the foundation and for continuing to be a resource to Dr. Hobby as she takes the lead of the hospital foundation going forward. The hospital is planning for a September golf outing and a bingo event in the winter months. Often out of sight and sometimes out of mind, the National Weather Service employees are an integral part of the safety planning at the Illinois State Fair. and for Illinois football games. Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln indicates if severe weather that is were to threaten the happenings of the state fair, they are on scene to provide up to the moment information for local officials.
Sure, yeah, the emergency management community can request the National Weather Service to provide on-site support, which means we'll have a meteorologist right there as the weather liaison. And we actually provide briefings that are going to provide immediate impact weather information that they can make decisions quickly, and we can be nimble and agile if things change quickly. And they have a lot of people, like the football games are 50,000 plus sometimes. The state fair on average, especially on those weekend days, over 30,000 people or more sometimes there too. If people are vulnerable, we need to be on site for those events so that we can provide impactful decision-making information to those people in charge. They'll actually have a command vehicle at the state fair, and then we go into the building, the Emerson building, where they have their operations center, and we'll brief in there to bring all the main players together. At the football games, we're in the 9th level, where they have the command center there. We do have an outreach booth, though, at the state fair, so that we can be interactive if there's quieter days. We want to have safety information and discussions with the people attending the fair, to continue that outreach and educating the public on severe weather safety.
For those planning to head out to the state fair this year, Shimon indicates things will be warm, traditional for a state fair season.
Yeah, it's looking above normal temps, below normal precip. The 9th through the 22nd is that 3 to 4 week outlook, and it's not intense heat. We're just 33 to 40% chance of above normal temps, but it could be in the normal mid 80s for highs and muggy. So plan to be getting that sunscreen out and drink lots of water for the state fair this year. It doesn't look like a real big cool snap during the fair at all.
Severe weather is never uncommon for the state fair season. Shimon encourages keeping an eye on the sky and be alert for those ever-changing weather conditions. 7:15 is news time on this Monday. School will be starting back up soon, and a University of Illinois Extension nutrition expert is sending some annual reminders for this time of the year. Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator at the Extension in Macon, DeWitt, and Piatt counties, explains whether it is getting up to date on vaccines, sports physicals, or just a general checkup. It's important to get your student a physical to ensure they are healthy.
Yeah, so just a reminder for as we're getting into back to school, which I know any kids listening will just hate me saying that, but for parents and caregivers and family members thinking about, okay, it's time to get those back to school physicals, whether that is focusing on vaccines or sports physicals or just a general well check. And so this is really important for kids to have those well checks so we can make sure that they're growing really well. They're having, good, all of those internal outcomes that we talk about, even for adults too, right? Is their blood pressure doing okay? How's their heart rhythm? Mm-hmm. Are they able to, get food? So if there's concerns about maybe access to food for families that maybe are lower income, where can the medical provider kind of direct them to provide some resources? That's something that we also can support is with finding food. So if you are looking for food access during the school year or during the summer months, that's something that Extension can direct you towards area food pantries and other food resources.
Mellendorf also extends that recommendation to adults. She says it's important to be aware of your blood pressure, cholesterol, and overall wellness, and notes men are often less likely to seek care.
And I will invite the adults too, because adults are not always great about providing their own medical care or scheduling those. So I'm going to invite the adults listening as well to make sure that they're scheduling at least once a year. Go into your provider. They will do blood pressure testing. They'll check weight. They'll check and really any concerns that you have around your health. We know that for women, heart disease is, and adults in general, heart disease is that number one killer. So making sure that we're getting good blood pressure numbers, good cholesterol numbers. And we know also that men tend to seek care less often. And so having them, get pushed in maybe by a spouse or a child, adult child, kind of pushing their adult parent to go see your doctor. It's really important to look at that, getting those scheduled every year. I know people don't always enjoy that, and so it may just be something that you're gonna have to practice getting uncomfortable with, and just going in and doing it anyway. So focus on those.
While the extension does not employ medical professionals, they do have resources on their website related to chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease.
So we do have some resources around general health topics, but we know that we're not medical providers. So anything that you hear from your medical provider, if you have additional questions on things like heart disease and diabetes, that's something that Extension can support as like a secondary piece of your medical care. So come on out to our offices and enjoy those classes after you've talked to your doctor. We can always be a secondary source of information. I know I've had a number of people in classes, especially for heart disease and diabetes, say, my doctor never told me that, or I never got the opportunity to talk to someone about that. I'm really glad you have these classes. So this is a great resource that we can be a secondary piece to your medical care.
We'll have more from Mellendorf in the weeks ahead leading up to that first day of school on healthy lunches for kids, school meal reminders, and much more. In the meantime, check out Extension's health and nutrition resources at extension.illinois.edu/DMP. News time is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday. Much more to get to coming up on the WHOW Morning Show.
School is right around the corner. Let us help you get to class in style at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. We have a great savings on the entire Chevy lineup, from the economic Trailblazer and Trax to the upscale Silverado or Tahoe. We have you covered. Our used and certified pre-owned cars are getting straight A's also. This school year, see all our inventory online. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to Fiber Fast Internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. 2 Illinois authors featured through the Illinois Ag in the Classroom program last year will have a presence at this year's Illinois State Fair.
In the Secretary of State's tent, they have Illinois authors coming in, usually between 10 and 2, depends on the schedule. You can go check it out at illinoisreads.org, so you can check that out. But we're really excited. They have Illinois authors who we've been featuring all year within Ag in the Classroom and also across the state. But we're really excited about 2 of them. They're both on Saturday, August 9th. Candace Fleming and Eric Roman. They've got a new book called Pip and Penny, but one of the ones that we've used, and it's a classic, it's called Honeybee. They also wrote that. So check out that. They're from 10 until 12 with Candace Fleming, and both Illinois authors. Candace is originally from the Coles County area of Charleston, so that's kind of cool. And then also on Saturday, August 9th, Ruth Spiro is promoting, she's going to be there signing books. Now, the cool part about this is you get to meet the author. You get your picture taken with the author, and they do have a limited number of books available at no cost for students. So that's really cool. But Ruth Spiro will be there with her book, Love Grows. And we love this book. It's about houseplants and about all sorts of other agriculture.
That's Kevin Doherty with the Illinois Ag in the Classroom. He's attended the Farm Progress Show for 21 years, but he's never been an exhibitor until this year. Jack Youngman is a member of the University of Illinois' Farmhouse fraternity. His father, Matt Youngman, is the Farm Progress Show manager. Farmhouse will be selling raffle tickets for an antique tractor during the show August 26th through 28th in Decatur.
This is going to be my 21st Farm Progress Show in my 21 years of life. Went to my first one when I was 1 month old, so grew up at the Farm Progress Show. like you said, definitely something that I'm very proud of and don't take for granted. But this is my first time as an exhibitor. I'm looking forward to it. You know, even down to the smallest details of like, we got to move this tractor in. Like normally I'm lucky enough to come to the show and it's set up and I can enjoy it on Tuesday through Thursday, but it's a whole different beast this year. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing a different aspect of the show.
The tractor is a 1959 John Deere 730. Tickets are $100 and proceeds go to the farmhouse building fund. What type of disease and insect pressures are farmers facing as we enter August? Daniel Harriet farms in Champaign County.
So, not a lot of disease pressure right now in the corn. There's your typical Japanese beetles feeding in the soybeans, but you know it's not. Last year we had aphids pretty bad. There, I've heard of a few aphids showing up here or there, but nothing like what we had last year, where there's a lot of yield damage that happened last year because of aphids. So I have not seen anything like we had last year as far as that goes.
Areas of Champaign County are experiencing moderate to severe drought, according to the latest U.S. drought monitor. Same FFA, same family, same FFA chapter. Nevin Erbson from the Eastland FFA chapter in Landmark is an American Star finalist in ag planting.
So yeah, I work for my boss, Rob Gunnarsson. We milk about 240 cows on 4 Lily robots. So my responsibilities here are a lot of field work, a lot of feeding, working with the cows, keeping them healthy, monitoring the robots. And then I also work for my own family's dairy, where we raise genetic show cattle. We attend local and national shows and do very well there. We also have a grain operation that I work side by side with my cousins with. And then out in college, I worked for a precision ag farm where we work on planter monitors and modify planters and what have you there. So kind of all over the place.
His cousin is Delana Erbson from the Eastland FFA chapter and is an American Star finalist in agri-science. Both now attend Iowa State University. The National FFA Convention is in late October in Indianapolis. News time is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday morning. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 84-year-old Marilyn L. Finger of Bloomington, formerly of Waynesville, passed away July 30th at Goldwater Care in Bloomington. Arrangements for 84-year-old Marilyn L. Finger are incomplete at this time with Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton. 60-year-old Linda D. Foster Terrell of Bloomington, formerly of Waynesville, passed away at her home on July 31st. Following a 2-year battle with cancer, private services for 60-year-old Linda D. Foster Terrell were held with burial at the McLean Cemetery. Memorials can be made to the Waynesville United Methodist Church. Final arrangements were entrusted with Quirum Peasley Funeral Home of Atlanta. News time, 26 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Coming